Welcome to another exciting episode of Astronomy Daily. As we find ourselves in the holiday season, today we're taking a fascinating look at how astronauts celebrate special occasions far from Earth. From the historic Apollo 8 crew who first spent Christmas circling the moon, to today's International Space Station residents finding creative ways to maintain cherished traditions in zero gravity. We'll explore how space travelers keep the holiday spirit alive while orbiting our planet. But that's not all we have in store for you today. We'll also dive into some remarkable space discoveries, including an astronomical find that would make any ocean seem like a drop in the bucket. A massive water reservoir discovered near a distant quasar that contains more water than you could imagine. Plus, we'll look at the challenges NASA faces with lunar dust as they prepare for future Artemis missions to the moon. We've also got updates on December's busy launch schedule, the latest fascinating discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope, and even a space-themed holiday treat about tracking Santa from orbit. So stick around as we journey through these amazing stories from across the cosmos. Here we go. The tradition of celebrating holidays in space dates back to 1968, when the Apollo 8 crew became the first humans to mark Christmas beyond Earth's orbit. As Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders circled the moon that Christmas Eve, they shared a profound moment with Earth, reading the opening verses of Genesis while broadcasting breathtaking images of the lunar surface. Their historic broadcast reached an estimated 1 billion people across 64 countries, creating one of the most memorable Christmas celebrations in human history. 5 years later, the Skylab 4 crew showed remarkable creativity in bringing holiday cheer to space. Gerald Carr, Edward Gibson, and William Pogue celebrated not just Christmas, but also Thanksgiving and New Year's aboard the station. They crafted a makeshift Christmas tree using leftover food containers, decorated it with colored decals, and topped it with a cardboard comet, proving that the holiday spirit can flourish even with limited resources. A particularly meaningful celebration occurred in 1993, when NASA astronaut Jeffrey Hoffman brought Hanukkah to space. After completing a spacewalk during the Hubble Space Telescope servicing mission, Hoffman marked the Festival of Lights with a traveling menorah and dreidel, bringing ancient traditions into the space age. The arrival of the International Space Station in 2000 ushered in a new era of holiday celebrations in orbit. The first ISS crew established what would become an enduring tradition, reading goodwill messages to Earth during the holiday season. William Shepard, the commander, even honored a naval custom by composing a poem for the first New Year's entry in the station's log. These traditions continue today with modern crews finding innovative ways to celebrate. Just recently, Expedition 70 astronaut Jasmine Mogbelli's family created a felt menorah for her Hanukkah celebration on the station. Since open flames aren't allowed in space, she marked each night by adding felt lights to the menorah. Even something as simple as spinning a dreidel takes on new meaning in microgravity, where it will keep spinning until it bumps into something, unable to land on any of its four sides. For more than 2 decades now, the International Space Station has maintained an unbroken chain of holiday celebrations, with at least one American astronaut spending Christmas in space every year since 1999. These celebrations, while far from traditional, remind us that human traditions and festivities can adapt and thrive even in the most extraordinary circumstances. December has been an exceptionally busy month for space launches, with 24 launch attempts already completed and at least 7 more planned before the year ends. SpaceX continues its ambitious pace with multiple missions on their manifest, including several Starlink satellite deployments and customer payloads. While they're pushing to reach their target of 136 launches for the year, recent scheduling changes have made achieving this goal increasingly challenging. Looking at the upcoming launches, Russia is preparing for a significant mission from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Their Soyuz 2.1B rocket, adorned with special decals marking it as the 2000th R7 rocket launch, will carry the Resurs P-5 Earth observation satellite. This mission continues the legacy of the R7 rocket family, which has been serving space exploration since 1957. Meanwhile, India's space program is preparing for an innovative mission called SpadeX, the space docking experiment. This mission will launch 2 220-kilogram satellites designed to demonstrate autonomous docking technologies in orbit. What makes this launch particularly notable is that it marks the first time India's private aerospace sector has completely assembled and tested satellites for ISRO, representing a significant shift in their space industry. China is also maintaining its presence in space activities with a planned launch from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center. Their Kinetica 1 rocket is scheduled to carry an undisclosed payload, though details about this mission remain limited. SpaceX will round out the year with several more Starlink missions, including launches from both Vandenberg Space Force Base and Kennedy Space Center. They're also preparing to launch the Astronomy from one to many mission, which will deploy 4 micro-GEO satellites designed to provide broadband services to various regions, including the Philippines, and services for aircraft and cruise ships. This flurry of launch activity demonstrates the growing accessibility and commercialization of space, with multiple nations and private companies working simultaneously to expand humanity's presence beyond Earth. Next up, in what might be the most remarkable water discovery ever made, astronomers have identified an enormous water reservoir in a distant corner of the cosmos, circling a quasar more than 12 billion light-years away. This isn't just any water supply. We're talking about enough water to fill Earth's oceans 140 trillion times over. This massive reservoir surrounds a supermassive black hole that dwarfs our sun by about 20 billion times. The black hole powers a quasar known as APM 08279 plus 5255, which releases energy equivalent to 1,000 trillion suns, making it one of the brightest objects we've ever observed in the universe. What makes this discovery particularly fascinating is its location in both space and time. At 12 billion light-years away, we're seeing this water as it existed when the universe was still in its youth. The water vapor spans hundreds of light-years around the quasar, existing in conditions quite different from what we're familiar with on Earth. While the gas is considerably thinner than Earth's atmosphere, it's surprisingly warm at minus 63 degrees Fahrenheit and much denser than what we typically see in normal galaxies. According to Matt Bradford from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, this finding demonstrates that water has been a fundamental component of our universe since its earliest days. The presence of water vapor, along with other molecules like carbon monoxide, suggests that this region contains abundant raw materials feeding the growth of the central black hole. This discovery does more than just add to our understanding of water distribution in the cosmos. It provides crucial insights into how galaxies formed and evolved in the early universe. The presence of water molecules plays a vital role in how gas clouds cool and collapse to form stars, making it an essential element in the cosmic story of galaxy formation. These observations were made possible through collaborative efforts using multiple observatories, including the California Institute of Technology's Submillimeter Observatory and the Combined Array for Research in Millimeter Wave Astronomy. The findings not only expand our knowledge of the early universe, but also demonstrate that the building blocks necessary for life as we know it have existed for billions of years. Now, a problem we all understand and have had to deal with, though probably not on this level. As NASA prepares for long-term lunar missions through the Artemis program, they're facing a deceptively simple yet persistent challenge: moon dust. This isn't your ordinary household dust we're talking about. Lunar regolith, as it's formally known, is incredibly fine, electrostatically charged, and surprisingly destructive. What makes lunar dust particularly problematic is its jagged nature. Unlike Earth's sand and dust, which has been smoothed by wind and water over millennia, moon dust particles are sharp and abrasive. Imagine microscopic shards of glass. These particles haven't experienced any weathering in the moon's airless environment, leaving their edges razor sharp. The dust sticks to everything it touches due to its electrostatic charge, causing numerous operational challenges. It can scratch helmet visors, clog equipment, wear down seals, and coat solar panels, potentially reducing their efficiency during crucial lunar night survival periods. Even more concerning is its potential impact on astronaut health, as these particles can irritate eyes, skin, and lungs if they make their way inside habitats or spacesuits. To address these challenges, NASA is currently developing and testing 7 different dust mitigation technologies. These experiments will be evaluated during an upcoming flight test on a Blue Origin New Shepard rocket. One particularly innovative solution is the Clothbot, a compact robot designed to study how dust behaves in pressurized environments. mimicking what happens when astronauts return from moonwalks. Another fascinating project is the electrostatic dust lofting experiment, which examines how lunar dust becomes airborne when electrically charged. This is crucial because, in the moon's low-gravity environment, kicked-up dust can remain suspended for extended periods, creating visibility and operational hazards. These technological solutions aren't just about keeping things clean. They're fundamental to the success of establishing a permanent human presence on the moon. As Kristen John from NASA's Johnson Space Center points out, the challenge is particularly tricky because dust particles can be smaller than the human eye can see, making contaminated surfaces appear clean when they're actually not. The James Webb Space Telescope has made another groundbreaking discovery, this time focusing its powerful instruments on a fascinating object known as Chiron. Located in the outer reaches of our solar system between Jupiter and Neptune, this 135-mile-wide body is what scientists call a centaur, a cosmic hybrid showing characteristics of both asteroids and comets. What makes Chiron particularly intriguing is its unique mixture of ices and gases, unlike anything we've seen on similar objects. Webb's observations have revealed a surface containing carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide ice, while its thin atmospheric coma contains carbon dioxide and methane gas. This unusual combination sets it apart from all other centaurs observed so far. Despite temperatures never rising above -220 degrees Fahrenheit, the limited solar heating Chiron receives is enough to cause these ices to sublimate directly from solid to gas. This process triggers chemical reactions producing organic compounds like acetylene, ethane, and propane, all of which Webb detected as ices on Chiron's surface. This celestial oddball exhibits other peculiar behaviors too. It periodically displays comet-like activity, possesses rings of material, and may even have a field of debris orbiting around it. Scientists are particularly excited about studying Chiron because it's considered pristine, remaining largely unchanged since the solar system's formation 4.5 billion years ago. As Chiron continues its 50-year orbit around the Sun, it will gradually move closer and become more active, offering scientists an unprecedented opportunity to study how these ancient bodies react to solar heating. Whether it eventually becomes a short-period comet or gets flung back into the outer solar system, Chiron's unique properties are helping us better understand the early days of our cosmic neighborhood. And speaking of tracking objects through space, here's a delightful holiday tradition that started with a wrong number. For nearly 70 years, NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, has been helping children follow Santa's journey around the globe each Christmas Eve. But this heartwarming tradition began entirely by accident. Back in 1955, a Colorado Springs Sears store printed a newspaper ad inviting children to call Santa. However, the phone number was misprinted, and instead of reaching jolly old St. Nick, the calls were connected to the Continental Air Defense Command Operations Center. Colonel Harry Shoup, who received that first misdialed call, could have simply explained the error. Instead, he saw an opportunity to spread some Christmas cheer and instructed his staff to provide updates on Santa's location to any children who called. Today, NORAD has turned Santa tracking into a high-tech operation. They employ their North Warning System radar, early warning satellites, and 47 installations along North America's northern border to monitor Santa's progress. Children and families can follow along through NORAD's website, mobile app, or social media platforms, watching in real time as Santa makes his way around the world. The tracking begins at 4 a.m. Eastern Time on Christmas Eve, and volunteers staff a special hotline throughout the day. Last year, they fielded countless calls from excited children eager to know when Santa might reach their homes. It's remarkable how a simple wrong number has evolved into a beloved holiday tradition that combines the wonder of Christmas with the sophistication of modern aerospace technology. This blend of holiday magic and space-age capability shows how even the most serious organizations can help keep the spirit of Christmas alive for children around the world. And that brings us to the end of another fascinating episode of Astronomy Daily. From holiday celebrations in space to massive cosmic water reservoirs, lunar dust challenges, and Webb's latest discoveries, we've journeyed across the universe together today. I've been your host, Anna, and I want to remind you that space exploration never stops, and neither does our coverage of it. To stay up to date with all the latest developments in space and astronomy, head over to astronomydaily.io. There you can sign up for our free daily newsletter and access our constantly updating newsfeed with all the latest space news as it happens. Want to dive deeper into the stories we've covered today or revisit some of your favorite episodes? Our complete archive is available on the website. And don't forget to join our growing community on social media. You can find us as Astro Daily Pod on Facebook, X, Tumblr, YouTube, and TikTok. Until next time, keep looking up and wondering about the mysteries that await us in the cosmos. And may I wish you a very happy Christmas no matter where you are. This has been Astronomy Daily, and I'm Anna, signing off.